everybody, and welcome to another live session where we're streaming live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I love the fact that we can do this. You know, when I started off in business over 30 years ago, if I wanted to get a marketing message out or help people run a seminar and so on and so forth, you know, it was a whole different ball game then. I used to stick letters in envelopes and go and book a hotel to go and speak. Now I can do it from the comfort of my own office. I can send emails out and social media and you name it. It's remarkable how the world has changed in such a short period of time. But the truth of the matter is, though, having said all that, there is nothing as important, I don't believe, as building trust in people or building your trust within people and your reputation. There really are two of the most important things around, even in this modern world that we live in, with digital everything and AI taking over the world and, you name it. It's happening at the moment. And the only thing I guarantee about the future is change. There will be change. The world is going to change without any shadow of a doubt. And the world of marketing, I think, as one of the keys to that change will come from the world of marketing, I believe. So, we got to embrace it. We can't just go, oh, well, AI, I don't like AI and I don't like this and I'm not really that techie. Now is the time to stop making those, quite honest, crap excuses and get on with it. We've got to, people, anybody of my generation, hasn't grown up in this world, the world of technology. Young people now, it's almost second nature to them. But, still, I would say that one of the keys to really being successful in business and in life is the way you use technology. So we're going to talk about that today. But we're also going to talk about building trust, building your reputation, and how the two marry together, really. Because, if you're really good, as far as the digital world, shall we call it, which will include AI in that, if you're really good at that and you don't have a good reputation and you've got no trust, then you don't really have anything. And the other way around, if you've got great relationships, you've got a lot of trust with a really small group of people who are your clients, that's okay. But if you want to grow your business, you're going to have to get new clients. And if you don't have that digital infrastructure in place right now, then it's going to be tough, let's put it that way. And you've got to build that digital infrastructure. The days of sending out letters arguably are gone. Having said that, I will just say that a little while ago I got a letter in an envelope through the post from Google trying to sell me, they were actually offering me a £50 voucher for pay-per-click advertising via sending me a letter through the post. So, the two worlds do marry together quite a bit, I think, and there's an opportunity for you there. Should you try sending out some letters, in envelopes? I wonder whether that would work for you. I was talking to a client the other day suggesting, why don't you send out 50? See if you could do that. Would that help to build trust? Because it's come through the letter, through the post. Arguably, that's, more trustworthy than, let's say, for example, an email. I don't know whether that's true, and it's going to be different for different people, but certainly something worth testing and trying out. So today I've got a few slides for you. So just bear with me a moment while I share my screen, and we'll go and have a look at them if we can. Let's see. Let's go. I'm going to go here this time because I made a mistake on my last video that stopped me sort of going from one page to another. So I'm going to see if I can do that today. Let me just make sure that this is working. Is it? Let's just put this side to side like that. Okay. I think that looks okay. And if I go like that, it should be working now. So you should be able to see all this okay. So welcome to this results masterclass on how to build trust and reputation. I would like to start by thanking you for your time. I appreciate it. I will endeavor to make sure that I give you the best possible return on investment from that time. And at the end of it, you'll look back and you'll think, do you know what? That was really interesting and valuable to my business. But my real hope is that you do something. You know, learning new stuff, I often tell people, is a waste of time, effort, and sometimes money. It's a waste of time if you learn it and then you don't do anything. If you learn it and then apply it, it can make you many, many thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of pounds. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. I go through this like lightning speed. So yeah, I've been around for over 30 years in business, helping and advising businesses to grow. Before that, I was an international table tennis player. Can you believe that? That's really a weird thing to be, but that's what I did. I spent over 10 years as a full-time professional player. I've helped many businesses over the years, actually 10,000 businesses, to make over 100 million, not each, but that's roughly where I would estimate I am. It could be a little bit more than that now. Now, I will like to stress at this point, not all of them. Some people came on my seminars and 6 months later, they'd done absolutely nothing with what they learned, and they don't gain anything from that. In that time, I've developed a process that I call results mastery. So I run things like group training, my group, results mastermind group. I work one-to-one with clients. I have online training. I have something called the Results Mastery University, which is again online training. I've got a piece of software which we call the Results Hub. That's absolutely fantastic. If you want to know more about that, let me know. I'm also a speaker. I've written 4 books on marketing. I talk all over the world. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but I have spoken in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Switzerland, Singapore, Australia, the USA, and so on. So yeah, I can just about say that's all over the world. One thing I would like to say is I genuinely care about small business success. I believe it's really hard. I've done this for 30 years. I've had my ups, I've had my downs, I've had tough times, I've had great times. The one thing that's always been the case, it's always been hard, you know, it's hard work. A very good friend of mine once told me that the best thing about running a business is you only have to work half a day. And then he added, not only that, but you get to pick which 12 hours those are. And how true is that? I live right now, I'm originally from Yorkshire, from Sheffield, but I live on the Isle of Wight with my wife and a bulldog called Bentley, who's snoring a little bit in the background, but not too loudly at the moment. So hopefully you can't hear him. Part of my process that I developed a little while ago is something I call my 6-step process. And this is really important for building trust and your reputation. Let's just talk about what tends to happen. I'm going to use LinkedIn as an example, but this happens in probably most marketing. What happens is this. I put a message out on LinkedIn asking somebody to connect to me. They say yes. And then what I do is within a few minutes, I send them a message trying to sell them something. That's what happens most of the time. That's like going up to strangers and asking them to buy your product. And they're not ready. They don't know you. There's no element of trust. They certainly don't trust you. You're this sleazy salesperson trying to sell them something that you've no idea whether they need or not. I often tell people it's a little bit like, you know, if I wasn't married and wanted to get married or get in a relationship, going up to ladies in the street going, "Hi, I'm Steve. Do you want to marry me?" No? Oh, all right, then I'll go and ask somebody else. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? And yet we do that all the time in business. My belief is there's 6 steps that you need to think about. Firstly, it's overcoming obscurity, the fact that nobody knows about us or not enough people know about us. Once we've got people into our list or got some communication, perhaps we're connected to them on social media and so on and so forth, or we've met them at an event, we've got to get consistent communication. We've got to keep in touch. What happens often on LinkedIn? People ask me to connect. I say yes, and that's the last I ever hear from them. So that doesn't work out too well. Next, we've got to get to this level that I keep talking about. I'm going to be talking about today, getting people to know, like, and trust you. That's a real key. We then develop that into two-way communication where they're not only liking and you know, following, perhaps watching a video of you and you know, reading your stuff, maybe they attend a webinar that you're running and so on and so forth, but then they're going to communicate back to you. That's where we need to be, because we then turn those people who are interested into meetings, and we turn those meetings into sales. And the step 7, which isn't actually on there, is turning that sale into ongoing streams of income, which is really, really important. So let's have a look at the process then. So why is your reputation and building trust so important? As I've just said, because people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. However, buy products that they know, like, and trust, and they buy from companies that they know, like, and trust. And my question for you, and the thing I want you to think about as a result of today, how can I build my reputation and get people to more easily know, like, and trust me, my products and services, and my company? That's a really profound question. And if you could sit down and talk about that, I can't tell you that because it's going to vary from one to another. But the one thing I can tell you is about your reputation and building trust. People like things that appear true. Let me give you an example. A little while ago, I worked with a firm of solicitors. This firm of solicitors called themselves the leading firm of solicitors in their city. Right? Now, if you looked at their website, you would be fairly sure that that leading firm of solicitors, in actual fact, was one man and a dog working out of their shed at the end of their garden. Just their website did not look like the website of the leading firm of solicitors in their city, right? It looked terrible. Okay, so that's an example. So all your marketing, everything that you do, everything about your business, to get people to know, like, and trust you, you've got to have that level of communication at the right level. You've got to be able to make sure that everything is consistent, because consistency, it really is king. So let's think about that. I'm going to leave that to you to go and work on looking at every element of your business in order to try and improve it. Okay, and by the way, we've all heard that saying. It's very, you know, creating a first impression is really important, and it's really difficult to change that once somebody's made up their mind about you. So really important thing, this building trust and reputation. So how do you do that? Well, I've sort of told you a little bit about it. Make sure what you say and how you look and sound and are is consistent. That's it. You know, if I tell you, you know, I'm not saying this because it's not true, but if I tell you, you know, I'm the world's leading marketer, right? And you think, wow, I better check this guy out. So you go to my LinkedIn profile and I've got a crappy picture on there and I've got spelling mistakes in my headline and the words, and it doesn't look great. And then you think, oh, well, maybe he's not really doing much on LinkedIn. Let's have a look at him on Facebook, or let's go to his website. And you're getting the same sort of, it's okay. He seems okay. He seems, but he doesn't seem like the world's leading expert. You know, let's go and Google him. Surely he's got to be at the top of Google if he's the world's leading marketing expert. And you type in some search terms and you can't find me at all. You with me? It's where what I say, you know, if I said to you, look, I'm the world's leading fitness coach and I was about, I don't know, 6 stone overweight, it doesn't quite fit, does it? You know, we have to almost, I think, be what we say we are. You know, you would think that if I'm a leading marketing company, I should be pretty good at marketing. You know, I should be pretty good at making money and creating sales and converting leads and so on and so forth. I should have a good website. I should be doing lots of posting on social media. You know, if you're a garage mechanic and you came, you know, I came to you and your garage looked like a, you know, just a really bad garage, you know, and your car was outside and it, you know, you're thinking, how on earth did that pass its MOT? You know, you know what I mean? It's about the picture. It's about how you look, how you sound, you know, how consistent you are right throughout your reputation. Let's put it that way. Okay. So again, I can't sit here and say, right, these are the things that you need to do. But what I can tell you is perhaps to do a self-audit. Again, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'm very happy to, you know, hop on a Zoom meeting, or you can come to the Isle of Wight, one or the other. You know, I'm very happy to hop on a Zoom meeting and talk to you and find out a little bit more about you and what you're doing in terms of your marketing. But let's just focus a little bit more on this trust and reputation if we can, because we're going to have some what I call key performance indicators, because these are really important, aren't they? You know, how many leads did you get this month? How many of those leads did you turn into meetings? How many of those meetings did you turn into sales? How many of those did you turn into referrals? What was your average unit of sale? You know, these things are like essential for your business, because without them, how do you know whether you're building, you know, trust within people? You know, how much repeat business do you get? People stay. You know, I've got people right now. Let me just stop this share if I can for a second. Let's just come back to here. I've got people who I've worked with now. I think my oldest customer is about 10 years. Been working with me for 10 years. I've got several that are like 3, 4, 5 years. You know, and these are ongoing clients that, you know, pay me money every month, and I advise them, or we offer a done for you service and so on and so forth. And why is that? Well, there's a level of trust, isn't there? They wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would they go to somebody new who doesn't know them, doesn't know their business? They don't know whether they're any good, and so on and so forth. You know, so we've got to build trust. We've got to build our reputation. And I would say, whilst I'm not you know, in any way a brand expert, you know, the brand that you portray is, in my opinion, a really important factor. You know, again, if I'm saying, you know, Steve Mills, yeah, you know, I'm the world's leading marketing expert, and you look at my logo and you think, blimey, Nick, that's not very good, is it? You know, it's just a perception, I believe, that we need to try to work on. So that's really all I wanted to say today. I will just show you a couple of things in case, you know, they're of interest to you. Firstly, you know, if you do want to book a meeting, feel free to do so. Probably easiest way is to go to my website. You can see that in the bottom left-hand corner, results-mastery.com. You can actually see it on the wall behind me. So if you want to do that, great. I do actually have, and I've developed something called the Results Mastery AI Advisor. How cool is that? I've got my own AI advisor. It costs £10. That's £10 a month. I reckon, you know, if you sign up and if you use it, it's worth at least 50 grand a year in additional income. It is mind-blowingly clever. It'll do everything from produce plans, action plans, marketing strategies. You know, if you want a marketing strategy, just buy into that and develop one using AI. It's absolutely unbelievable. I've added all my information, all my reports, all my tip sheets, all my website, my blog and my podcast and my everything in there, so that you can gain access to that. And last one, just a really quick one, my mastermind group. If you want to join that, again, you get loads of things. You get a weekly mastermind, which is this afternoon, 4 o'clock to 5:30. We meet with the group. We go through a particular format. You also get a Q&A with me. You get access to my university, access to my training programs, and also my AI, and so on and so forth. So again, if you want a meeting, just get in touch. You know, book yourself a results awareness meeting on my website. You'll find a big gold button. Click that. That'll give you access to my diary, and you can book a session with me. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you next time on my live stream. It's great to be here. Thank you very much for your time, and speak soon. Bye for now.